Hey everybody, on today's video, I'm going to be working on this Ariens Snow Blower. This is a Deluxe 24. It is model number 921045. Model name is S as in Sam, T as in Tom, 24, L as in Larry, E as in Elephant. And what we're doing today specifically is changing this grind bar along the bottom that rides along the rough surfaces and gets banged up pretty well. This is in addition to, and an often overlooked part of wear, in addition to these guys, which are, I think, formerly called the shoe. And apologies, I don't know the official name for a snowblower nor the Ariens part. I'll work on this after the video. I got this from a certified dealer. And it is at least written on there is a 006585559. I bought this probably 2019. I think it was maybe 30 or 40 bucks. I can't remember exactly. But first step that you need to do is get this thing propped up safely in whatever way that you want. I blocked the rear tires and then got these up on some wood and then hit them with PB Blaster or Rust Blaster because those bolts are rusted up pretty good. As well as you'll see some bolts and nuts going along there. And then again on the other shoe, I don't think we need to take off this front bolt. And then underneath here, you'll see those bolts. And we'll be loosening those up. And then pretty simple job, just putting this new grind bar on. And away we go. All right, back to step one. So PB Blaster is set in for about 10-15 minutes. Came in and the first shoe nut back here, that is going to be a 9/16. And use the impact on that. And then underneath the small bolts, that is a 1/2 inch that we use there. I got to use my favorite tool, which is my impact wrenches. 10-inch extender with a 90-degree at the end, help me get up underneath there. And one thing you'll want to notice is on these nuts, they're squared up at the base, at the bottom of the threads. I don't know if you can really see that. And those sit down into the square passageways. That's important because as you're trying to back these off, if you're not paying attention and holding those back down in there, the nut will just spin on the backside. So for all you youngins that might not know about that or might not be missing that, if that head keeps spinning and you can't get the nut off the back, you need to keep it pushed down in so the square goes into the square hole, and then you'll get your nuts off. I'll come back after I've done that on all of mine. Okay, so resituated the blower a little bit here, which may look different, but got all the bolts and nuts out, especially off the back. If these grind plates are overused and not replaced in time, what happens is the threads can shear off. You'll also notice that these are rusted pretty bad. So you can do a couple things. If you're cheap and economical, or you're in a pinch, you can toss these into something like a bath of Coca-Cola, leave them in there for a day or two or three, and that will actually eat that rust off. You can use something like a rust inhibitor or neutralizer, or you can just go out and get new bolts online or from Ariens dealer or whatever you want to do, but just make sure it's the right thread, pitch, and all that sort of thing, which again makes it just easier if you order it from the dealer and just pay the money. These are, again, the bigger bolts that go through the shoes on the side. So pretty simple. Once you get this off, again, another tip, 2 service announcements that I learned this as well is on this bolt right here. I wasn't able to easily get it out because this auger was in the way. So it looks like it's only that position here. Actually, it can be almost any position. So just play around with the combinations and just be aware that you might have to finagle these or reposition these with the positioning that they are in versus what you need when you go to take these out. But this is not a hard job, as you can see so far. So 1 on the end, 2 on the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go on the next step. But again, one last tip that you might want to do is if you're seeing any rusting, especially on this leading edge, if it wasn't protected, I just use some Loctite extended rust neutralizer, which will help get that rust off. And then if you've got the Ariens spray paint, if you're really anal and you want to take that to brand new, if you're going to go resell this or whatever, you can spray that and then let that set up for at least a day or two before you put on this replacement bar that we're about to put on in the next step. All right, the wear bar plate part is now in there. You'll notice it goes on the inside, not the outside. You'll probably be able to see that or deduct that yourself. But notice it goes on the inside of these walls, okay? What you might have to do is put one end in, and then like I did, I had to push out here to get that to come up inside there, but it does. And then it will sit on top. It does not go underneath. It sits on top of that lip, and you can start to see the square holes lining up where the bolts will go through. And you'll want to, well, you have a couple different options. I think you should be able to put the ends in first if you like, but don't tighten those down, in my opinion. I would save those for tightening down at the end, or you can just start to put these in. It's not rocket science, so go ahead and do whatever works best for you. All right, job is all done. You'll see all the bolts are in and replaced along the lower portion, and our shoes are back to normal. And then I decided to hit a few of these other areas around here that are rusting out with that rust inhibitor like I spoke to you about, and then I'll make the decision or not whether I want to just spray it back at the factory paint or let it go. One extra little tip, as I promised, is to use ceramic spray coating. This is a actually hybrid solution from Turtle Products, and I got this at Menards, about $15 for the bottle. And I use it on my cars, and it's amazing. But if you know anything about ceramic coating, basically what this does is it allows the moisture to sheen off of the paint or the window, like Rain-X. Same similar process. So what you can do is you can actually spray this conservatively, don't go crazy, on the inside, especially down into the auger chute and into the auger and even the auger blades. And what this will do is help prevent the snow and ice from sticking and jamming up inside your snowblower. And I would probably do this, you know, if you live in a fairly snowy season like I do in South Dakota, where it's going to snow every other week or frequently, let's say, is to do this maybe once or twice a winter. And you will notice dramatically how much better your snowblower performs in terms of not jamming, especially when you get that troublesome type of snow that's wet and sticky. So what you'll do is just spray that on, and then just take a paper towel or something like that, and you'll want to wipe it in because it probably did not spray on uniformly. So just get in there, nothing too complicated, and just wipe that down and make sure the surface is coated. And do not feel like you have to buff it out like you do on a car. So just leave that on there, and you will love what that does for preventing jamming. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you save some time, and it will save your snowblower from rusting out. You can always replace these shoes and these wear items like this bar. Unfortunately, you can't once it gets into the housing, and that's what's going to cause you to lose money if you ever try to resell these, or just flat out you're going to have to replace it. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.